Hey you, it's Jeden. So, let me tell you about my near encounter with death experiences and how I deathly avoided it. Growing up, I was one of those kids that you consistently needed to keep an eye on. Now, I'm proud to say I've never broken a bone, never sprained an ankle, didn't even break a tooth. Although there were a few occasions. My enthusiasm and curiosity definitely got the best of me, which put me in a lot of dangerous situations ever since I was a baby. I've always been lucky enough to somehow manage to avoid all the bad consequences of the worst situations life has challenged me with. Well, maybe I put myself in those situations. Nah, putting the blame on life makes me look more innocent, so I'll stick with that. One time when life tested me was when I was about 3 years old. We were on vacation at the seaside and I was playing in the sand near the water. It was a day with almost no waves, so it was a pretty calm sea. But Mom was still very aware not to take her eyes off me. "Don't go too close! Stay here! Don't eat that!" And of course, I needed just a split second, that precious split second when parents close their eyes to blink. And I'm gone. While carelessly playing with sand, shells, and other stuff, a huge wave came out of nowhere and the wave started to wildly carry me away from the shore, twisting me in every direction. I opened my eyes and my 3-year-long life flashed before my eyes. What? I didn't see much. 3 years is not that long after all. Luckily, after a few spins in the wave, Mom finally found me and pulled me out. I coughed for a long time, trying to get out the salty water I swallowed, and I tell you, I've never seen my parents so worried in my whole life. So, yep, my mom is a hero. Thanks, Mom. Here's a cookie. You might think that after that traumatizing experience, since I remember it to this day, I would get a fear of water. Nah, the next day I was like a dolphin in the sea. Well, not really, but you get the idea. I was fine. So, a few years passed with no near-death experiences, until that summer. Okay, so when I was about 9 years old, we went on another trip at the seaside. And no, I didn't fight with another killer wave. First, let me give you some context here. When I was 7 years old, my parents got divorced and I ended up living with my mom. Of course, I've always wished for her to meet someone and be happy. So, 2 years later, she surprised me with a new dad, a new 3-year-old sister, and a surprise trip to the seaside. Boy, there was a lot to take in for a day. Needless to say, I was way overenthusiastic about everything. So we arrived at the hotel and after we checked in, they gave in to my impatience and we headed to the beach. On our way there, I was walking and giggling happily, spinning and turning back to look at my mom and my new dad holding hands. They were so unbelievably cute and I'm gone. Again. While walking backwards, I didn't see the open sewer hole in which I fell majestically. Luckily for me, it was blocked somewhat 1.5 meters down, so I didn't sink in poop. Hey new dad, meet your new clumsy daughter. Yep, you should get used to it. I came out of it pretty lightly, with just a few wounds that I would be reminded of every time I got in the salty water the following days. Ouch. Yep, not the best summer. But hey, at least I got out of there clean. It could have been a dirty job, so I'm a lucky rabbit. So that's what I remember so far.
That is not where it ended. Yeah, don't expect that she learned her lesson and became responsible and aware of her surroundings after those experiences and after she became an adult. Take a look. See any difference? I sure don't. She continued her happy-go-lucky hide-and-seek with that even after we started dating. Fast and Furious down the street, remember?
Oh, yeah, that happened. He was, and still is, a bicycle freak. I didn't ride a bike since I was little, until he appeared in my life, that is. But hey, it is said that once you learn it, you never forget it, right?
So a few weeks in, when we started dating, we decided to go on a ride. I kinda wanted to impress her, so I had the idea to go out of the city somewhere and higher to have a nice view over it, so I chose a nice forested hill above the city with wide open views.
You wanted to impress me, but I ended up impressing you.
You definitely did. Now for some perspective, let me tell you the number one rule I always enforce when someone decides to ride with me for the first time. Never try to keep up with me. As in, ride at the speed and knowledge that you're comfortable with, not mine. I had to make that rule up after I had several people on different occasions do that, and it didn't end up well. So I tell her that. I even count the number of times that happened, and make sure she understands. And everything went downhill after that. Literally. We came across a paved road from the forest that descended from the hill into the city. So we get in the middle of the crossroads, enjoy the awesome view, and then let it rip downhill. Obviously not before telling her again to keep it at her own pace as I knew, and told her there's an awful double curve coming further down the road. Some of you who watch this and ride bikes or motorcycles would know how bad the curve sloped like a cone is, right? It looks like this. These are the usual curves made to be safe at speed. This one is designed by the devil himself. So we ride downhill and I notice we're approaching it, frantically signal her to slow down and proceed further into the first curve to the right. Just before I approach the second curve to the left, I get this nagging feeling that something isn't right. So I stop right in the middle of the second curve to look back. Right then and there, a van comes up from in front of me, passes me and goes on up. Well, shoot. I already know something's going to happen. So I just start pedaling back up, only to see Sia fabulously fly across the street and straight into the other side of the road, hitting the border and crashing. Luckily, she didn't hit the van or break anything, but still flew in the fence of the property located there. Come any slower and she would have hit the van. I wonder what went through your mind when you lost control of the bike.
Well, oh shoot. Don't damage the bike, don't damage the bike! Yeah.
Are you kidding me? You were more worried about the bike than yourself?
Yep. I borrowed his brother's bike, so I was supposed to give it back in good condition, right? And that's how I got my first big bike scars. So, anything else you wanna tell on me for?
Absolutely. But not right now. I'll tell those in maybe another video.
Phew, then I'm safe for now. Please know I really appreciate you for being here. If you enjoy videos like this, make sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel and book the bell if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you in the next video.